Hey everybody, it's PlannerCailín. So I have a little bit of a different video today. I have in recent months, mainly this year, really gotten into fountain pens. I think it's Happy Scrappy's fault. I love her Sailor fountain pen collection, which led me to buy this Sailor Nagasawa edition. It has a 14K nib and it's extra fine. I try and get all of my fountain pens in extra fine just because of the style of writing that I do. It's one of my favourite but not my complete favourite. It was quite expensive and I got stung coming into the country because I ordered it online, so I got stung with customs. So I think once it cleared customs it was close to €190 I think. But in contrast, I have this Pilot fountain pen that I got for like €15 and I absolutely adore writing with this. So there's an irony there. You don't have to spend a small fortune to get a good fountain pen. So in this video I'm going to go through how I fill my fountain pens. I have in recent times always used cartridges, but there is so much more in the world of inks if you learn how to fill your fountain pen yourself. So I purchased this Sailor ink converter for my Sailor fountain pen. I also have this Kaco and V&A Museum Series fountain pen that I got on Amazon. It's just super pretty. If you have a look, it is just adorable. I love it. Now I haven't used this pen yet, I haven't filled it. I'm going to fill it today and I'll show you what it writes like and I will give you my feedback on it. This pen came with a converter, so I will be using the converter to fill this also. And then I bought a PenBBS fountain pen after seeing Happy Scrappy's pen box subscription for, I think it was October or November. There was a PenBBS fountain pen included, so I had never heard of that brand before, and I do take her advice when it comes to fountain pens because she does know her stuff. So I went onto Amazon and I found this beautiful purple marble effect fountain pen with an extra fine nib. And this fountain pen also came with a converter, but I'm not actually going to use it because you can fill the barrel of it with ink. So I can put this converter back in the box because I'll just be filling the barrel with ink instead using a dropper. The dropper I actually got with a Moonman fountain pen a couple of months ago, and it works on all fountain pens. It's a very simple device. The ink that I'm going to use today is one of my favorite inks to use. It is called Noodler's ink and it is in color Polar Blue. So I love blue ink and I love this blue. It's like a powdery dark blue, but it's not like a navy, it's lighter than a navy. So this is the ink that I'm going to use. So as you can see, I have a box of tissues here because this can tend to be a messy job, and I also have a towel down just because I don't want to damage my desk. So I've never used the Sailor converter before. It's quite simple as far as I know. You use the pen itself to draw the ink up into the converter. So I'm just going to open this now. So I'm just going to open up my fountain pen and screw off the nib section and then insert the cartridge. And I'm just rotating the little knob at the top anti-clockwise to bring the drawer down towards the tip, and then I will rotate it clockwise to bring it back up, and then I think the idea is when you bring it back up it will draw the ink into the converter. Now, there's different ways, well, I wouldn't say that there's different ways, but there is more than one method to this. I do see on some videos that they submerge the majority of the pen in the ink, but they don't advise it. So I'm just going to put the tip in and draw it up using that. So I'm going to open up my ink. I'm just going to get my tissues ready for when it comes out. So I'm drawing it up and pushing it back down. This is my second time doing it because it's not pulling up as much ink as I would have wanted. Now that's much better. So I'd advise you to do that as well. And when you have the nib submerged in the ink, draw the converter fully up and fully down a couple of times, and it will for some reason draw in more ink. I don't know why that is, it's just the way it is. So I have it out of the ink now, so I'm just going to put the top back on. And I'm going to use the tissue paper then just to dry off the nib. I told you it was messy. So I'm just trying to get it as clean as possible. Now I can do a test right with that at the end when they're all done. Now I'm going to move on to my Kaco and V&S Museum Series fountain pen, because this is using a converter as well. So again, I'm going to rotate it counterclockwise, and then I'm going to submerge the nib in the ink and then rotate clockwise to draw the ink up. Now the draw up on that was much better the second time round as well, so it's definitely something I'd recommend. I'm just going to try it a third time, and I'm going to do it much slower than I did previously. Now that one's done again, so I'm just going to reattach the body of it, and I'm going to clean it off. Again, you have to be very careful because the nibs are very delicate. That one was a lot easier to clean than my sailor for some reason. I do not know why that is. And that one is done. And now I am moving on to my PenBBS fountain pen. So I have already removed the converter and I'm just going to fill the barrel of the pen using my dropper. So I don't want to fill it up all the way. They advise not to go higher than the ridges on the body of the fountain pen. So I used 5 fills with the dropper. I'm just going to place that down there now. And then I'm going to reapply the nib. Just bear in mind that not all fountain pens can be filled this way. Only certain fountain pens. So I'm going to leave that facing down and I'm going to clear off my desk space, and then I'll do a writing test with those 3 pens so you can see what the ink looks like. When you're storing your ink, I'll always keep the boxes because the ink can change colour if left in direct sunlight. So I'll always keep the box and I'll store it in a drawer. So just to make sure that no sunlight gets to it. So guys, now that my desk is fully clean, I am going to keep out 2 little pieces of tissue paper just in case, because I have not written with these fountain pens before. My TN I actually got on AliExpress. It was so inexpensive. It was only like, I think, how much was it? I think it was only like €12 and it came with inserts and everything. I've used this in the past for my Wonton in a Million stamp comparison. I love the quality of the paper in the inserts as well. It's really, really nice. So for this one, I'm going to use my lined inserts. And I'm going to start with my Sailor fountain pen because it's my first time using a blue ink in it. So as I have not written with this before and it's a fresh fill, it's going to take a while for the ink to come through properly. So I think it's coming through nicely now. Those little exercises are very good if you're practicing your handwriting as well. So I'm really, really happy with the converter since I've switched over from the cartridge. I don't think it affects the writing with the fountain pen, but it will definitely save me money in the long run using the ink converter. So I'm excited to try the next 2 fountain pens as I have not written with them yet. I have never used either brand, so it's going to be interesting to see how they write. So guys, you can probably tell I actually don't think this is an extra fine nib. I think it might be a fine. There is a significant difference between the Sailor and the Kaco and V&A Museum Series fountain pen. I definitely don't think this fountain pen would be good for block lettering. I just found the ink very free flowing. It would would be perfect for calligraphy or joint writing. I do really like the pen, however. I think the Sailor is probably more suited to my type of writing. So now I am going to move on to my PenBBS fountain pen. So this was the one that we filled with the dropper. That's just interesting to know the top doesn't click on top of the fountain pen, and it doesn't screw on either. So I'm going to start with the exercise that I've done for the previous two. So guys, as you can see, I really enjoyed writing with the PenBBS fountain pen. It's a good comparison. So you have the extra fine Sailor nib, you have the Kaco Museum Series, and then you have the PenBBS. So this is an extra fine nib, as is the PenBBS fountain pen. I nearly preferred the PenBBS to write with. I thought the flow of ink was much better than in the Sailor, and I definitely found the Kaco V&A Museum Series to be a very free-flowing ink pen, so that's why I found that would be better suited to joint writing or calligraphy as opposed to block writing, as you can see. That's just an ink look for you to see the colour of the Noodler's ink. I can tell already by how this is looking on the screen, it's coming up a lot darker than it actually is, so just bear that in mind. A lot of shops online will send out ink samples before you buy a full bottle of it. As always, if you are planning on buying a really expensive fountain pen, I would advise you to go into a reputable dealer first and actually try out the pen to make sure that it suits your writing style. I didn't do that when I bought my Sailor fountain pen, and while I do love it, it isn't my favourite fountain pen to write with. Yet it is the most expensive one I have bought. It is beautiful, it's very aesthetically pleasing, it looks lovely, but it isn't my favourite fountain pen to use. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It is without a shadow of a doubt the shortest video that I have ever done. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions about fountain pens or about this beautifully cheap planner that I got on AliExpress, just let me know down below. I'd advise you to follow Happy Scrappy on Instagram because she does have a very good knowledge of fountain pens, and I'd also advise you to watch some YouTube videos on reviews on fountain pens before you purchase them as well, because I find them really helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please give me the thumbs up, it is always appreciated, and if you so wish, please click that subscribe button. Bye!